All right, so you can head to google.com and click on the waffle. You're going to go into Google Sheets, or you can also go into your Google Drive. I'm going to click directly on Sheets. Now, Google Sheets is awesome because it gives us a place where we can create a data table and a graph online. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you open up your Google Sheet is you're going to want to give it a name. So I'm going to give mine the name Cup Project Data, and then 2022. Oops, there we go. Now, you're going to notice that each little box here is called a cell, and each cell has a name. So right here, this cell is A1. Then over here, this cell is C2. I'm thinking about the cup project already. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make our data table. So we're going to start up here in cell A1, and we're going to copy the data table that you guys are putting into your notebooks on page 43. So our first column is going to be time, and then in minutes. Then if I hit my right arrow, I can go over and I'll hit trial. Oops, sorry about that. Trial number 1. I can hit the right arrow, trial number 2, and I hit the right arrow, trial number 3. And then I'm gonna hit the right arrow one more time and I'm gonna do average. Now I need to fill in all of the time in minutes. So first we're gonna have our initial temperature, which is our starting point, and that will be at 0 minutes after 0 minutes have passed. Then I hit the down arrow 1, down arrow 2, down arrow 3, down arrow. And what's really cool is you can actually highlight the data that's doing what you want it to do, and you can just drag it down. And you're gonna see now it went to 22. I don't need it all the way to 22. We can just move it back up, or we can delete these ones because we only need to go up to 15. So for trial 1, I'm totally making up these numbers. Please do not use my numbers. Let's say we are first starting at 60.2 degrees Celsius. Then let's say our next one is 60.2, 60.2, 60.1, 60.0, 59.8, 59.8 again, 59.7, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm not going to go all the way through. You're going to have actual data. Let's say this time we started and the temperature was 61. And we could have 60.9, 60.7. Let's say for whatever reason this time it didn't seem to work as well. So we have something like that. Let's give a little bit more data. I guess we'll just do 60 degrees. 59.8, 59.5, oops, 59.3. Cool. And then last trial, again, we'll say it started about 61 degrees, but this time it stayed at 61 a couple more times. 60.9, 60.7. Oops. You'll notice that because I did a comma on accident instead of a period, it did not move to the side. Okay. Now I want to find the average. So the way that you normally find the average is you would add these 3 numbers together and then you would divide it by 3 since there are 3 values. Okay. So instead of doing all the math, it's actually really awesome. You can hit the equals key and it's going to guess probably that you want to calculate the average. And if you hit tab, it's going to do that for you. Then you can do it again here. You're going to do equals, and it's also going to think you're going to want the average, but this time it's going to take the average of these 3 numbers. You hit tab. Now, again, if you want it to do the same thing, if you click and drag down, it's going to calculate the average for each of these. Now, you're going to notice that sometimes the average has a ton of numbers after the decimal point, and that's okay. That doesn't really matter. So we have our time in minutes, trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and our averages. So now what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of our information that has data, and then we're going to go up to insert, and we're going to click chart. Once we click that, we're going to see our graph. So you can see that there are multiple lines. There's a funky title. So we're going to do all sorts of things to make this graph look better. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change the title. So we're going to say Cup Project. Oops. Data. That extra E there. Okay, so now that I have the title correct, Cup Project Data, down here at the bottom it says time in minutes, but you're going to notice that there's no axis label over here. That's bad. We have no clue what those numbers mean. So customize, then we will make sure we go to where it says chart and axis titles, and you're going to see that this is a drop down. The horizontal axis title is the one that says time in minutes. That's exactly what we want it to be. But there's no vertical axis title. So our vertical axis title represents temperature, and then parentheses in degrees Celsius. I know we don't have a little circle for the degree symbol, so I just use the star. And you'll notice that as soon as I change this, it changes over here. So our graph is already looking better. So we have all of that going on. The next thing that we really want to make sure that we change is we want to change our vertical axis, our minimum value and our maximum value. We can see that it's never going to be anywhere near 0 and it's never going to be anywhere near 80. So if we set our minimum value, let's say to be 50 and our maximum value to be 70, we get some better data, but look, we still can't really tell these things apart. So since we're only going to have 3 degrees difference, we want to set it so that we can see the difference as much as possible. So I'm going to set it to 58. And then our maximum is going to be, let's do 62. So by changing these numbers under customize and the vertical axis, we can actually see where these changes are happening better. So based on your data, you might need to change these numbers. Okay, like I could probably change mine to 59 instead of 58. And then that would show it even better. So we can see how trial 1 our cup did, trial 2 our cup did, trial 3, and then our average. So we should expect to see the average somewhere in the middle. And this graph looks perfect. It has all the things we need. It has a title, it has labels, it has our 4 lines, and we can see the differences in them. So that's all you'd be expected to be able to do. You will be able to copy this data table down here, take a screenshot of that and put it on your poster, and then you will take a screenshot or you can insert this chart somewhere else. So I can show you how to do that in a separate video.